For academic writing, task 1, you may get a diagram sometimes to write a report on the diagram. So in this example, I'm going to compare two diagrams of tunnels. One is Mont Blanc Road Tunnel. You see a picture of that. And the other one is Seikan Railway Tunnel in Japan. Let us study the cross-sectional views of the two tunnels and read the questions. The diagrams show the cross-sections of two tunnels, one joined in France and Italy, and the other joining to Japanese islands. So when you study these two diagrams carefully, you can see the differences. So the first thing is you have to mark the differences of these two tunnels. And also the time period of when it was built, the construction time is also different. So you better mark these differences, paying special attention to the marked features. Okay, so then let us see how we are going to plan your answer. So the report plan, as usual, it contains the paraphrasing the question as the first introduction. This is how you introduce. You have to paraphrase the question. As usual, this paraphrasing we can use instead of diagrams, the figures, and show, the verb show. We can use the synonym compare and illustrate. Instead of joining, we can use linking, and this is how you should paraphrase it. And after writing your paraphrase of the question, you can describe the most important features of two diagrams, which can be, it's a kind of a summary or an overview. Okay, if it is a bar chart or pie chart, we call this part as overall trend. But here there's no overall trend, but we can write an overview. So when we look at the pictures, we can see the railway tunnel is longer than the highway tunnel. And also the second important feature is it took longer time to build than the road tunnel. Road tunnel was built in a shorter period of time, and the railway tunnel took a longer time. So those are the two major differences in the building these tunnels, and those details you have to include in your overview. Okay, now let me explain the next paragraph. The paragraph 3, you have to compare the depths of the tunnels. And then you can compare and contrast the lengths of the tunnels. So only we are comparing these two features. And then we finish that paragraph and we go to this next paragraph, the paragraph 4. There you can compare the time taken by the Japanese railway tunnel to build, and also the time taken by the Mont Blanc tunnel. Okay, and the difference is the other difference is that the Japanese tunnel was built under the sea, while the tunnel link in France and Italy was built under the mountain. So these are the major differences which we can compare in these two diagrams. Okay. Now, when we write the report, I think it is always better if you could number these two diagrams. So, this is how you should paraphrase the question. we can write the figures instead of a diagram. We can use the word figures. The figures compare the cross sections of two tunnels, and further you can describe the figure 1 illustrates a road tunnel joining two European countries, while the figure 2 shows a railway tunnel linking two islands in Japan. So this will be enough for the paraphrase of the question and as the introduction. Okay. Then the next thing that we have planned is to write the overall description or the overview. So there you can use the word overall and comma. It is clear that the railway tunnel in Japan is much longer than the tunnel under Mont Blanc. Two different features. Also, the second tunnel too much longer to build than the Mont Blanc tunnel. So the one is about the length of these two tunnels. One is longer than the other one, and the second one is the time it took to build two tunnels are different. So this is the overall description about two tunnels. Then the third paragraph consists of the physical length of these two tunnels and the length and depth we can compare. So we can mention here the depth of Mont Blanc tunnel is 3.5 kilometers at its maximum. That is the maximum depth of the tunnel, compared with only 240 meters for the second tunnel. So which one is deeper, Saigon tunnel or the Mont Blanc tunnel? I think the Mont Blanc tunnel is the deepest one. However, whereas the length of the Mont Blanc tunnel connecting Italy and France is about 11.6 kilometers. So the length is shorter than the other one, but the second tunnel is much longer at 53.85 kilometers. This is just 11.6, this is 53.85. And you see that we are comparing and contrasting these two differences of the tunnels. Okay. Then finally we can say something about the construction times of the two tunnels. They're also markedly different. So we can write the construction times of two tunnels were markedly different. The railway tunnel was built under the sea, connecting two Japanese islands, and its construction took 42 years to complete. You see that railway tunnel took much longer time, 1946 to 1988. When you calculate the difference, it's 42 years to complete it took. So we can further elaborate that, starting in 1946 and finishing in 1988. What about the road tunnel? The road tunnel under Mont Blanc, however, was completed in just 8 years between 1957 and 1965. Okay, so now look at the whole report. You can read the whole report. Thank you very much.